Welcome to Synchronicity. I've never done this before, but I have a huge back catalog of stuff that I recorded, since 2015. We're not going that far back, but this was originally recorded in 2019. It's called Reality 101. I thought this would be a good time to revisit some of this stuff because I feel like the energy is kind of cyclical and it's coming around. So I thought, like, for people who haven't heard it, this is probably a good opportunity to get introduced with that. I might slip one of these in every once in a while. It's a nice way to do things. I have some episodes recorded and ready to go. I just thought this would be a cool thing to do. So we're going to re-listen to this. I think there's some really interesting things in here that if you think about now, how applicable they can be to the situation that we're going through right now, it's parallels at the very least. I will be back soon with a regular episode next week. The Patreon is going fantastic. Thank you so much. We've added, I think, 40 or 50 patrons since September, which is really cool of you guys. We do the weekly readings, the audio readings, the monthly live streams, and the bonus episodes. So yeah, here is Reality 101 Revisited. Welcome to Synchronicity. We have a really fun episode today. We're going to break down reality 101. What the fuck is this place? There are so many theories, so many ideas, so many conflicting theories, so many theories that are in harmony. What the fuck is reality? And when I say reality, I'm not just talking about Earth. I'm not just talking about our external reality. What is really, really real? What is actually the source of everything we experience internally and externally? Okay, that's what Reality 101 is. So this was born out of a bunch of people saying they were either having difficulty implementing some of these imaginal techniques or coming across other theories of reality that ended up getting them stuck in a loop or making them feel like there was some conflicting ideologies going on. Like, oh, well, this person said that, and how can that be if imagination creates reality? Like, how could this also be going on? So I just want to get to the root of what is actually going on here, which is stable imaginal acts create reality. What you believe is real. Okay, that sounds too simple to be true, but it is. And I also want to talk about Neville Goddard speaks about this operative principle called the law. You're the operative mechanism. The law is a law. It is always in effect in this world, in Earth. Now, we're going to jump up at various times in this conversation to different levels of consciousness, and stick with me if you can. If not, don't worry, you're still hearing it on a deep level. But in this world, this is the law. This is just how it works. And I'm quite sure, I'm pretty confident it's an unbreakable law on Earth right now. It's just how it works. It's actually becoming a stronger law and a more visible law. And this law is what you imagine, what you feel, what you believe happens in this world. It precedes materiality. Things materialize from that. And the why and the reason behind it is consciousness, your awareness, your sense of I am is the only real reality. Everything else is kind of like a magician's trick. It's like the magician in tarot, right? The second card, even though it's the third because the fool is the first. It's the second card because the fool's the 0 and magician's number 1. So the magician is very awesome. He's an alchemist. He is the path of discipline. His ruler is Mercury. Mercury just moved into Scorpio, by the way. Scorpio is going to cyclically be breaking down and reviewing thoughts and emotions over the next 2 months because Mercury's staying there. So get ready for this karma. Really, we've been talking about reviewing karma and getting that balance down to 0. Like, that's what's going on now. So get ready for this shit because it is what is happening. So the discipline has negative connotations for some people because it's like, I have to do that. I don't want to do that. And here's the truth. You can get through your discipline shit real quick. It could be a 5-second forever lesson on discipline, or it could be a lifetime or multiple lifetimes or infinite lifetimes of discipline. So if you don't like it, I recommend plunging into discipline very quickly, getting it, and then being like, all right, I got it. I got it. I don't have to do that again. And I'm one of those people. So that's why I do this. But the Magician, if we look at the tarot card, is essentially has all of the suits of the tarot there, the pentacles, the swords, the cups, the wands, all of the elemental energy. And he's standing up performing these wonderful magical acts, showing people like, whoa, look at all this stuff you can do. It's so cool. It's like, look, there's pretty much, you can do whatever you want. See, I'm doing it. And then if someone goes and learns from the magician, they become an apprentice, they learn those magical acts as well. So what these techniques that I've been talking about, those are just magic tricks. They're real, but they're just leading you to the point where it proves to you empirically, because you test them out, you test these magic tricks, you get the reactions from yourself and other people. It just leads you down the path of recognizing that the only thing that creates reality on earth, in terms of what we perceive with our 5 senses, is our assumptions, our feelings, and our beliefs. So if you assume you are the person you want to be, you become. You are, and then it unfolds. If you feel like the person you want to be, you are. If you believe you're the person you want to be, you are. I am. That is literally how it works. So all of these techniques are just ways of getting you to that same conclusion. And in the same way, all of these other modalities, be it ayahuasca, meditation, reality transurfing, any crazy way of looking at this stuff, or I shouldn't say crazy, any beneficial way of leading you to this point of that your consciousness, your sense of I am, is the only reality, then it's an effective route to truth. If one of those paths leads you down to a place where you think someone else has the answers, where their version of reality or what they conceived is real, and that's where you're going to get your answers, and it disempowers you by saying, oh, well, this person has the answers, I should listen to them. I don't have them, I'll just listen to them. That is not good. That is the illusory aspect of the magician. So I don't know why I'm going into tarot here. It's obviously on my mind, but the next card after the magician is the high priestess, and her ruler is the moon, which is your feelings, and her path is contemplation. And the high priestess is awesome because she will lead you to the realization, quite literally, that your consciousness creates reality, that what you feel, more importantly, creates your reality here on earth. She's great. That's why I like weed. That's the high priestess. She will shift you into this world. I want to be clear about these techniques because people get caught up in them. You do this all the time. You're never not doing it. You don't click into something to create your reality. It is always active. What you do is bring awareness to what you're creating and the process of creating, and then you exercise a degree of control. And you say, okay, you know what? I don't want a shitty life anymore. I don't want to be unhappy. I don't want to be in a constant state of fear. I want to be clear. I want to have love in every aspect of my life. I want to feel balanced and calm and at peace. You make those decisions. You go, oh shit, now I know how to do this. So first we use these techniques, right? Whatever it is. Some people go into the jungle. Some people smoke toad and they get these glimpses of whatever. That's very useful for a lot of people. For some people, it's super not useful because then they say, oh, the toad has the answers. The ayahuasca has the answers. And they don't recognize, nah, man, that shit was just interfacing with you. It was bringing out something that you already knew. And God bless that is how it works. But don't misapprehend that it's something outside of you. There is never something you gain outside of you that you put on you that makes you whole. You are already whole. The process is Michelangeloing. You basically chip away. You carve out that perfect Adonis, right? You carve out the perfect David. Oh, Neville Goddard would love that now, wouldn't he? You carve it out until it is revealed. If you think by subscribing to someone else's ideas and running with those for the rest of your life, you're going to wake up. You're not. It'll lead you to the point, right up to the point where it says, all right, this is taking you that far, but now it's your decision. And this comes up a lot in these tarot readings too. I have a lot of people who either have a preponderance of fire energy or not a lot. And this is also in astrology too. Like fire energy is very important right now. And there's a lot of components with fire energy. It burns, it destroys, but it's also movement. It is action. It is ambition. It's Mars. It's Apollo. It's the ruler of the tropical chart in astrology, or astrology and tropical modality. It's very important. If you don't have a lot of fire energy in your astrological chart, if it's not in key places, if you're not, naturally motivated and ambitious, or you don't feel you are, you need to light that fucking fire. And there's a lot of different ways to light the fire. And divination is one of them. Listening to people is one of them. Collaborating with people. But at the end of the day, it's your own internal fire that you need to light. So, a fun visualization that was taught to me is imagine there's a blue candle lighting in your heart center and just carry that around with you. And that will keep you somewhat energized for what you need to do in your life. But if you find yourself getting stuck in loops, kind of like, I don't know what I want, or I want this, but then I realize I can have it and now I don't want it, that's just a clever game. That's a cop-out too, just to be clear. I see people who are very, very aware of that consciousness creates reality, but they keep imagining a desire, or a desire comes up, then they kind of judge it and they say, no, I don't really want it, or and then they push it away and then it doesn't happen. They go, what gives? Like, I can't pick something. Why is this happening? Well, there's two things probably. You may have enough fire energy, and I've been seeing this in readings where you have a lot of it and it's pushing you, but you don't have that air energy. You don't have that clarity, that quickness of mind to make the decision, say, yes, this is what I want. Then you don't have the earth energy to bring it down and lock it into this world. And then you don't have the feeling energy. I don't know why I'm saying you don't. You do. You do have all these things, the feeling energy to summon it forth and let it unfold. So we've talked about balancing masculine and feminine energies. I'm learning more about balancing elemental energies. And it's very, very helpful, especially because elemental energies can be observed through color, and there's color all around us. So you can get, like, in the episode where I talk about like discovering subtle truths and looking at everything like a metaphor, color really helps us do that. If you want to just slip into your unconscious and subconscious minds, stop looking at the world literally and just look at the colors around you. And look at what colors people are wearing. People don't even know why they choose the things they wear sometimes and how that affects their modalities of consciousness. It's not that it's like deterministic. It's a reflection of what's going on inside. So when you start using things like color and numbers and divinatory practices, it just cracks through this seemingly impenetrable wall of our senses that says, this is the world. This is how it works. Take this literally. And that's not. So how do we start lifting some of these veils of like confusion or doubt? Confusion is one that's coming up a lot for people. And I think this is the best time to deal with it while Mercury is in Scorpio, when the god Hermes, the communication is in this cyclical reviewing aspect of where we are planetarily, energetically. So how do we move from a state of confusion? Because that's like hard. Like if you're confused, how do you get out of it? You're in a state of confusion. The first thing I can say is be very, very mindful of what you are saying. If you're saying, I'm confused, get what are you? What did you just do for yourself right there? What is going to inevitably be born? So watch your language and what you're saying to yourself, your mental diet, as Neville Goddard would put it, your Icaro, right? Your song you're singing. If you're singing a song of confusion, guess what you're going to be? So here's where you start technique-wise, or what you should imagine, or what you should feel, or what you should believe. This has worked for me. Again, this is not speculation. I'm not saying, well, I sure hope this works, guys. Let's give it the good old college try. No, like this shit, I've done this shit and it fucking works. I don't know how else to explain it. There's fucking empirical proof in my own life and people around me see it. So here's what you do. you appropriate states of consciousness. Now, I've spoken about this before in relationship to having many desires. Like, oh my God, I want so many. I just like, how do I get through them all? You just pick something like ecstasy and it encompasses all of those. This is a very similar thing. In fact, it's the same thing, but it's how to cut through confusion. So what you do is you say, I am clear. I have clarity. I am fearless. I am awake. I am in ecstasy. I am balanced. And you just keep doing that. Just keep saying this to yourself as you go to sleep. You can get an app. There's one I called I Am That I Am. It's honestly quite a shitty app, but it just lets you record yourself saying things and put music behind it. And I like that. So I listened to it because there's something I spoke about in the angel episode, or one of the techniques episode, about using your friend's voice, which is very convincing, especially for people who have negative self impressions and self-esteem. Using a friend's voice can be very powerful. But now if you've moved up a little bit and trust yourself and love yourself and accept yourself, use your own voice. It's even more powerful. It's fucking incredible. So again, I am fearless. I am clear. I have clarity. I am awake. I am in ecstasy. I am balanced. Add whatever you want. Go for the states of consciousness first. I know it's tempting, and of course, go for money, go for relationships, go for love, go for all of those things. But the real process that will evolve here is you're going to appropriate states of consciousness. You're going to want to be in a state of fearlessness. You're going to want to have clarity of mind. You're going to want to feel balanced. Who doesn't, right? The only reason I could see not wanting to have those states at this point, if you understand your consciousness and your awareness creates reality, the only reason to go into those states would be to experience them so you could get out of them, so you could teach other people how to not do it. So unless you, or yourself, but really other people too, unless you really like that's what you want to do, don't just go to fearlessness, go to clarity, go to love, go to ecstasy, go to joy, go to harmony. And it's totally safe to do that. Now, I want to talk a little bit about how this interfaces with other ideas and other schools of thought, ranging from Buddhism, shamanism, materialism, esotericism, reality transurfing. I was just listening to a really cool podcast with Jessa Reed and a reality transurfing guy. I want to talk about how we let those ideas help us and not hinder us. So stable imaginal acts create reality. Whatever many people collectively believe in, and we can feel and experience that, it is quite stable, right? We believe in gravity, therefore it exists. And you can say, no, that is cockamamie. You're saying if a tree fell, the whole tree fell in the forest, would anyone hear it? Yeah. We believe in gravity, therefore it exists. If in 2,000 years we fully understand, or maybe before, that consciousness is the only reality, people will be levitating all the time. You ever have those dreams? I had those dreams until I basically learned how to levitate here. Do I physically levitate yet? No. But do I levitate, motherfuckers? Do I levitate above situations and levitate in mind and go to unity consciousness and go to 5D, 6D, 7D, 8D, 9D, 10D, 11D, 12D? Fuck yeah, I do. And I'm fucking aware of when I'm doing it. So maybe I do it up there first, and maybe it doesn't express itself in linear time here yet. Doesn't matter. It's the same fucking thing, truthfully. But stable imaginal acts create reality. So if you hear someone else's theory and it empowers you and it reminds you that imagination creates reality and you're in control of everything, and don't subscribe to other people's ideas unless they empower you, wonderful. That's amazing. Stay close to it, listen to it, hang out with those people, find your tribe, find your people, ride that wave, do it. However, if it gets to a point where you are subservient to it, where you're chained to it, where you feel like it controls you, where you become superstitious about it, where you can't lock into what you really want and you can't get to this place of fulfillment, don't. Just like remember your identification with it being real is what makes it real. There's no, like, you can one day believe in one thing, like I believe in Jesus Christ as a man, and then the next day wake up to being Jesus Christ in your head and be like, oh shit, no, I don't believe that. And you can believe both if you want. They're not mutually exclusive, but only do it to the degree that it actually helps you. If it's hurting you, if it's confusing you, If it does not computing you, that shit ain't like, don't hang on to it, right? You want that balance. And so now I want to talk about desire a little bit, because I'm hearing more and more, I think what I perceive as misconceptions about what desires are. When you want something and a desire comes up, we know that if you judge it, you just end up pushing it away and creating something that will inevitably control you in a way that you don't want to be controlled, because a desire is you from the deepest part of you serving up something that is there for you to realize and wake up to the true reality of the situation, which is you are everything. You are the creator and sustainer of the entire multiverse. You're also you. This is the I and I, the Rastafarianism thing. You're also you, but you're God, you're Source, you're Krishna, you're Buddha, you're Kali, you're fucking every deity you have ever heard of. You're Zeus, you're fucking Kronos, you're Uranus, you're everyone. So that's true. And if that's an overwhelming idea for you, just back off. You don't have to fucking approach that yet. That's called unity consciousness. That shit's the best. It's really cool. And again, we live in a dualistic world here. We live in a relational other world. Yes, there is no us versus them paradigm in reality, but there are other people here. Now, yes, they're mirrors, they're reflections of us, but this is a fun game we're playing. If you take it too seriously, you really start to imagine other people are real, and then you just get lost. You get lost in this hall of mirrors, quite literally. Let me explain to you. If you really believe other people aren't you, and have substantial weight and are completely separate from you, you're essentially like going to like a haunted house where there's just like an infinite series of halls of mirrors, and you get stuck in there until you wake up and like are like, oh shit, I don't want to be in here anymore. This fucking sucks. Unless you like that, and then you can of course stay there. It's whatever you want, truthfully. But I want to talk about desires. A lot of people are familiar with this phenomena of, if you want something too much, like a desire comes up, and you just want it, you want it, you're actually pushing it away, right? And if on the same token, if a desire comes up and you push it away, the reverse thing happens. It actually becomes psychically stronger in you and expresses itself maybe at an inconvenient time. So neither are the correct approach, nor is the approach of allowing a desire to come up, feeling it, wanting it, and then saying, I don't really want it. And then thereby pushing yourself into this perpetual state of indecision. I see that a lot with people with very strong imaginations, very good at selecting and letting realities unfold. They'll get in this loop, this fucking loop of like, I want it, I don't want it. I want it, I don't want it. I want it, I don't want it. And the solution to that is what I spoke about before. I am clear. I have clarity. That's it. Go for the state of consciousness. Go for the version of you where you are clear and know what you want. Oh my God, it's so much better. It's so much better knowing what you want. I don't know how much more clearly to say that as someone who was the king flip-flopper and waffler and could dissect anything. And listen, like I said, Mercury's in Scorpio. You're going to experience this energy very heavily over the next 2 months, because Mercury is going to go retrograde and hang out in Scorpio for a long ass time. So just know. Now, I think Venus is still with Scorpio, or still with Mercury now. So that love, that disciplined love, that Empress and the Magician together are a great force and helpful, especially in Libra. But when everything moves to Scorpio, Scorpio gets such bad. I'm a Scorpio rising, man. We get pinned with like being like too into sex and like liking being hot and cold and reviewing. It's like, fuck off, man. Like, we're the Scorpio risings, my Scorpio suns, my Scorpio moons, my Scorpio risings, Scorpio placements. I feel you. We're fucking awesome. This is our time right before the karmic purge into the new paradigm. We're having a good fucking time. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, again, Reality 101. Let's break it down to the title of the episode. You're always using what Neville Goddard refers to as the law. You're never not using it. Your current state of consciousness is always a reflection, or your external reality in this plane of existence, this earth, is always a reflection of your current state of consciousness. If you want to move to timelines or dimensions or places where you're fearless, or you want different things, do the state of consciousness stuff. Don't worry about moving on to timelines until you have the clarity of mind that is stabilized, where you go, oh yeah, that's definitely what I want. That's exactly what I want. And I know it's going to be great when I get it and when I'm that. And you are that. That's the truth. You already have to feel like that. It's the same way you move out of, oh gosh, this is, I don't think it's going to hit anyone listening the wrong way, but if you talk to someone who's in the throes of clinical depression and you're not tactful about this stuff, they don't want to hear it. You don't dare. That depression is them. That is them. That is how their reality works. How dare you tell them it can be transcended in 5 seconds? How fucking dare you? And you can hear in my voice, like I'm speaking as one of those people in that moment. I'm not a depressed person, but I know the offense and the condemnation and the judgment that can come from basically going into someone's reality and saying, guess what? This is a choice. You're doing this to yourself. People don't like to hear that because who wants that? Who wants to be that person? Who wants to be responsible for their own misery? But you are. You're responsible for all your own shit. So here's what we do. We slowly or quickly prove to ourselves that our state of consciousness creates reality. We learn ways of controlling our mental diet, as Neville Goddard would put it, by controlling the songs we sing ourselves. And again, if you're like, how? The techniques. Do it with Reality 101 techniques, appropriate states of consciousness. Imagine yourself as fearless. Feel yourself as fearless. Believe yourself to be fearless. Guess what? Oh my God, you're fucking fearless. Now, as you appropriate fearlessness, I highly recommend appropriating wisdom and clarity and balance, because it's one thing to be fearless and be pointed in a direction of doom. It's another thing to be fearless and be pointed in the direction of ascension and love and unity and wonder. All right. So that's why it's not just fearlessness. It's all these other things too, but appropriate states of consciousness. It is the secret. It is the cheat code. It is the hack. It is what everyone is looking for. I say this to you as someone who has experienced positive, incredibly positive moments of flow and just locking into flow and maintaining it while shit around me is going fucking crazy. And for people who haven't listened over the past few months, my kid, our newborn, was in the hospital 3 times, had surgery one of those times. He's totally fine. Don't worry. I'm not like wishfully thinking. He's 100% fine. He's fucking amazing. Those were his gifts to me and Alexis to bring us together. I was so calm. Anyone who knows me knows I would have freaked the fuck out. I did not meditate more. I did not sit down and make myself be something that I wasn't. I realize that I'm constantly meditating. I'm realizing I can constantly be in a state of balanced equanimity where insights flow effortlessly. And I realized I can maintain those states of consciousness when the external world is showing me anything but. That's fucking power. That's real fucking power. If you want power over this reality, you don't recognize it by lording over people, manipulating, dominating, using money, using sex, using jobs. You don't do that. You do it by finding yourself in a very difficult external situation or internal situation and having that stability of mind, heart, and spirit. I don't know. I got real new agey there for a second, but that is the fucking truth. It's just how it works. It is so great to get money. It is so great to have amazing sex. It is so great to feel fulfilled. All that shit's amazing, but it is even greater to know that you have control over yourself all of the fucking time. There are a lot of pieces right now of reality being delivered to you, not just out there in the world. They're constantly, and you're delivering them to yourselves through other people. We're getting little insights into mindfulness and how to stabilize, and we're getting insights into how to manifest and create. I'm going before those here. Do not take this as ego. Do not take this as me thinking I'm better than anyone. I am getting down to the motherfucking root of what all of this shit is. So you learn the mindfulness, you learn the stability, but then you direct it consciously and you dare to fucking dream you are the person who you want to be. That's it. That's the fucking secret. If you do this, you will see the entire world, your entire world, conspire to make your dreams come true. You will create things. You will create art. You will create magic that exists in the world as reminders of who you are. When you create a piece of art, when you create anything into this world, a relationship, anything, and it exists and it's tangible, that is there to remind you that you are a creative operative power in this world. You know, sometimes like I had a little cold the past few days, and I wasn't feeling super flowy. I was feeling kind of ebby. And towards the end of it, I started feeling a little better, did yoga, jogging again, but still, still a little low energy. And then I started getting feedback from people about songs I've made. I started listening to something I had made a couple of months ago. And I'm like, oh my God, holy shit. How could I ever forget who I am? How could I ever forget why I'm here? So create. You stabilize your mind. You lock that shit in. And then once you do that, you decide with clarity, I am clear, I am awake, I am balanced, I am in ecstasy. You point your conscious masculine mind where those desires come from. If you have an aversion to picking something, if you waffle, then guess what? You are not in touch. You are not balanced with your masculine mind. I can say this as someone right now who has a preponderance of masculine energy going on in my chart. Get in touch with your fucking masculine energy. We are in the age of the divine feminine. You know what we need to do? What we need to do is, yes, feel and be enveloped in this wonderful love and energy that is coming back and finally being balanced and just like, it's the best. It's so fucking cool. But you want to be someone who can fucking bear that? You don't want to get eaten up like the praying mantis who eats her fucking male counterpart's head and fucking destroys him. You don't want to get destroyed in this? Fucking man up. And I mean that for everyone, for men, for women. Develop the masculine qualities of direction, intention, and aspiration. Impregnate your unconscious, your subconscious, the receiving, impersonal, non-selective. It doesn't know. It doesn't hear the difference between negatives and not negatives. If you say, I don't want to be depressed, it hears depressed. But use control, use mindfulness, use your desires to impregnate your unconscious with who you want to be, what you want to see, how you want to feel. She will deliver it to you over and over again. The return of the divine feminine is not ushering in an age of overarching too much feminine. It is a balancing. She has the wisdom to know. Listen, she got some serious rebalancing to do. So it's going to feel like a lot of feminine energy, but it is a balancing energy. It is something that we balance in ourselves, both with the polarities of sex and masculine and feminine, but we do it also elementally: fire, air, water, earth. Astrology is very helpful for identifying what energies you have in your natal chart. But please don't forget, with astrology, with tarot, with anything, in astrology, you are your natal chart. You're where your planets were born, but you're the whole fucking zodiac. None of this stuff says you are determined. We're breaking karmic chains right now. That's what's going on. If you're alive right now and listening to this, we're either in the process of breaking the last karmic chains or we've broken the chains. If you're a 2020 listener, it's already happened. Congrats. New paradigm. Fucking amazing. But this is our role. This is why many of us born, from the 70s and 80s have Pluto right near Scorpio, because like this is what we're doing. We are reviewing karma and snapping those motherfucking chains, not only for ourselves, but for our ancestors, for people around us. And as you wake up to the ability that you have the power to bless yourself and other people, and I mean that quite literally, you have the ability to cast healing spells on whoever the fuck you want. Do it. Do it. I'm fucking doing it. I'm learning it. I'm doing it. You do it too. That's what we're here to do. And it's like fun. It's not serious. If this shit gets serious to you, if you're listening to someone or watching something and they seem like really angry and serious about shit, okay, that's how they're expressing. Let's talk about Greta Thunberg here, right? I think she's doing amazing things for the planet. She is the raging divine feminine saying, fuck you guys, you have raped me, abused me. What the fuck is the matter with you? But her message doesn't hit everyone because people who don't understand or can't understand yet just see her as being a destructor and mean. They look at her in her Kali aspect, the divine raging feminine that destroys everything so something else can be built up. And that scares the fuck out of people. So if you can use that same destruction energy, that death energy, this fucking blow it all up, burn it all down energy, but do it in a way that eases us into that, allows people to feel okay as we're moving towards that. I recommend that. I used to think that, all these Wall Street people and professionals who used money as a cudgel to beat people down, like, I imagine that it would have to be some horrible fall from grace for them to come into an age of love and prosperity and harmony internally first. I don't believe that anymore. I think that was helping perpetuate and persist a belief in me that I wasn't okay with the things that I saw them have and possess, like money and wealth and abundance. Well, that's not true. I am okay with those things, and I wish the best for every single person who goes through this process. I don't want people who don't have the same viewpoints or aren't at the same level of consciousness, higher or lower than me, to experience suffering. Period. I want everyone to be happy. It's why I don't judge people, or I try as best as I can and notice it when I do. I don't want to judge people who have done fucked up shit to me or people I care about or the earth or other people. I don't want them to do that. So I imagine versions where they don't, but I don't judge them for it anymore. Judgment will fuck your shit up always. It tethers you to the thing you are judging. It literally creates like a Chinese finger trap, and you try to squirm and get out of it, you can't. So don't judge. Use discernment. Use recognition. Do not identify with the opposite, because all you're doing when you identify with something is you're taking an infinite, limitless being, you, and putting it into this small little ill-fitting clothing and being like, I am now this, and I don't like that because I am this. And it's like, why are you doing that? You're fucking everything and you're now pretending to be that? And it's like, you don't have to. And don't judge the people who do that either. Like our social justice. My friend sent me something. Gandhi is canceled now. So Gandhi, was, I guess, a misogynist or did some, I didn't even read the article. It's like, I don't have time to cancel Gandhi, guys. I'm sorry. Like, if you need to cancel him, go right ahead. But it's just like, we're going back in time and just destroying everything that is identified with the new paradigm. And that's one way to do it. Or you could just kind of let it go and be like, all right, that shit wasn't the best, but can we just move into the cool thing now? And again, Reality 101, you appropriate your states of consciousness, okay? You are everything. You're always using the law. Do I get into the promise here? Are we going to do an episode on the promise? Do we know what the promise is? It's too woo. And like, if I'm saying it's too woo, then it's definitely too woo for this episode. We'll get into what Neville Goddard referred to as the promise. This is the thing that in the 60s and 50s, when he started talking about it, like, everyone started tuning out. They're all like, nah, homie, can you talk about the houses and the cars and the wives and the husbands? Like, we're good on all this God shit, friend. And like, I hear that also reflected back from some of my people who, grew up with strict religious upbringings, and it's like any mention of the Bible or God or anything is like, fuck out of here. But friends, I tell you this, if you did grow up in a religious upbringing, I hear a lot of my Catholic friends, a lot of people grew up with programming there. Oh, it happened for a reason, man. And it did happen so you can revisit those things and integrate them as well. It isn't. The Bible and Christianity is the fulfillment of the Old Testament, which is basically saying, you be God, friend. You be God. Jesus Christ. Anyway, we're not going to get into the promise because it's too woo for people. I can sense that intuitively. Just make sure that you know the real secret for all of this stuff. The magic tricks of the techniques are wonderful. It also allows us to empirically test those techniques, which is the entry point for logical and analytical minded people. In a year or two, I won't even need to talk about that shit. But what these techniques, these magic tricks help us do, and I mean magic tricks as in actual magic, what they allow us to do is just click into the reality that we are everything. And the real practical benefit of this is what you assume yourself to be, you are. What you feel yourself to be, you are. What you believe yourself to be, you are. So we do things to allow ourselves to assume, feel, and believe the desires we have been realized. They have been achieved in the best possible way. Use it lovingly. Use all this stuff lovingly. You want to know what's past duality? I spoke about it before in the last episode. It's unconditional love. And that's a real fucking thing, baby. And when you chill from there, when you emanate that shit knowingly and bring it back to you in this world, you are a fucking magnet. Why do you think you're listening to this show? Because you can fucking sense what I'm not saying, which is the underlying resonance of what I am. The truth of what I'm saying is like, baby, we are so fucking good. We are so fucking good. I don't even know how to say it. Let's bet it's the good that we are is better than what you imagine it to be. Unless you're here with me and you know exactly what I'm saying. And it's like, oh man, isn't this fun? Isn't this fucking amazing? So if that's a distant concept to you, if that's not a felt reality, how good we are, do the appropriation of states. I am fearless. I am clear. I have clarity. I am awake. I am in ecstasy. I am balanced. That pretty much takes care of all of our needs on this planet. All of the shit will happen to you. You don't have to worry about what timeline you're jumping on to. You don't have to worry about the dimension you're going into. Your destination is set. You're on autopilot. You Tesla that shit. You're fucking there. You're rolling a joint while you're fucking in your Tesla smoking weed. That's what you're doing. That's what we're doing. Okay. Lots of fun stuff coming up. That's the end of this episode for this. Whitma, do I have a code now? I think I have a code now where like they know if you get the tickets through me. You probably already bought the ticket, so I'm not going to get, I think it's like $10. I don't want the money, but I would like them to know that I'm sending people so they can be like, wow, fuck yeah, no. I will put that up. Whitma Live, October 18th, 2019 in New York City and Chelsea. Go to whitmalive.com and get tickets. I'll have the link on this page and episode. I think that is all I need to say. The readings, I don't even need to say it anymore. You guys are finding them. Join the email list. There's a lot of fun shit going on there. You can do that by just going to the website and it pops up on your phone or on your computer or whatever. Rate and review this podcast because it's good. I don't know how else to say that. Go check out some other MindPod Network podcasts too. Also, I have a request for Jessa Reed fans. Go tell Jessa to make sure that if she is in LA when I'm there, that we can get together. I have friends who are like kind of like in reality, not in reality. They're like hard to pin down with digital media unless you penetrated their psychic circle. So go do that. Just go barrage Jessa. Make her already flail-like life even more flaily by barraging her with people from Noah, from Synchronicity. I'm sure she'll love that. Just so go do that because I know it's going to be a good episode when I go out there and I just want to get her to know that that's what's happening. And I've told her this too. So, but just do that. I think it'll be fun. That's what I'm going to basically do. We're going to use hive mind from now on to pester people into doing shit. This is exactly what I've always wanted. It's just fucking minions to pester people on my behalf. No, but it'll be a good episode. I will be in LA from the 7th to the 12th. I leave the 12th. If you're there, maybe we can get together, say hi. Maybe then an event will evolve. Who knows? Can we imagine that? Wow, that would be cool. Otherwise, you'll hear me here. Come see me talking about imagination and stuff in New York City. And I don't know, shit's good. I think I'm going to go to Jamaica in 2020 because why the fuck not, right? So maybe we could plan something in Jamaica. God, that would be cool. I don't know. Shit's coming. Shit's good. Get your monies up too. I'm start imagining all the abundance so we can go to cool places together in physical reality. Okay, that's it. Love you. Happy imagining. And I will speak to you soon. Bye-bye.